Hey guys, welcome back to Bowls Fan TV. And today we're going to be doing a match preview for the Bohemians versus Longford game tomorrow evening. I'm joined by Darren. How are you?
Hi, Lenny, what's the crack?
Yeah, all good. First home game of the season. We're taking on newly promoted Longford. What are your thoughts going into the game?
Yeah, looking forward to it. Again, like I said last week, we need to get 3 points. Longford are newly promoted. They'll be on a high. They bet Derry 2-0, so they'll be looking to cause another upset.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't watch the Longford Derry game, I have to be honest, but I did hear that Longford played quite well. They do have a lot of good, like decent players, like Rob Manley. I suppose he's all right. He used to play for Bowes. Uh, Signed a few good players like
Aaron
Aaron
Dobb,
Aaron
Paddy
Dobbs.
Byrne, a few of them boys. They're all good players, for Longford. Um, if you watch a few of Longford's preseason games, and they're more of a team than individuals. So, if you've got a team that plays as a team, they're always going to be hard to beat and break down. So it's not something you can just brush aside. You can never brush any team aside this league. And Longford certainly put it up to it. And I'm expecting a tough test, but I'm expecting a win too.
Yeah, they are a tough team. Like, yeah, as you said, they're kind of more a team kind of, they don't really have a lot of individual brilliance, but like as a team they kind of work well together. Actually, just before we get into the kind of talking more about the game, we're gonna do our predictions like we did last week for the games. I think there's only four. So I think the first one is Dundalk versus Finn Harps, quarter to 6. So what do you think the score will be in that one?
1-0 Finn Harps.
Really?
You heard it here first.
Wow. Yeah, I can actually see that happening, to be fair. Finn Harps, they gave us a good game last week, and they got the better of us. But I'm actually going to go the other way around. I'll go with 1-0 Dundalk win. I think it'll be tight. It's going to be tight. Like, Finn Harps will probably they'll give them a game. Like, Dundalk's team is kind of unknown, but
Yeah.
they were okay against Sligo. I didn't really watch it, but they were all right. Like, but I'll go 1-0 Dundalk. Just think that their quality will be a bit too much for Finn Harps. So the next game, it's on RTE2 tonight. Waterford versus Sligo. What do you think the score will be there?
Whew, I'm going to go with 2-1 Sligo.
Yeah, I can see it being a bit tight. I thought Waterford actually played quite well against Drogheda. I just think maybe Drogheda had kind of better chances. They kind of they just nicked it really. But I was surprised by them. I thought they were all right. Sligo, I think, yeah, they were pretty good against Dundalk. But I'll actually go for a draw. I just think it's going to be a bit tight. Sligo, I don't know. I think I'd probably be edging towards them for a win, but I just think I have a feeling it'd be a draw. It'd just be a bit close. So on to our game then, uh, against Longford. What's the score going to be?
1-0 balls.
Yeah, I can see it being tight. It's it could be a difficult game for us. But I just think it's a must win. Really, we have to win it. First home game of the season. We'll be wanting to put that Finn Harps result behind us. So I'm actually going to go with a 2-0 win to Bows. But wouldn't surprise me if it was like a 1-1 or a 2-1, maybe even a draw. Like if we don't play as well as we did against Finn Harps. But I hope not. We need to get 3 points on the board. I think we'll look at this game as an opportunity to get back to winning ways, get the first win of the season. Um, I've actually forgotten what the last game was. um,
I
um,
don't go too, when you're looking at the teams like, say, Longford, if you look at them on paper, they'd be bottom table teams, to be weak teams compared to the likes of us there. So a game is never won on paper, though. It's all about who plays and when that whistle goes and who performs and who steps up and who takes their opportunities and a bit of luck along the way. And if Longford pull it up to us, there's ever a chance they could get a result. I'd never rule any team out. Like, if you just look back previous seasons, the likes of Harps now who always stay up and really like get onto teams around them and start getting results out. And I like Longford. I'd like them to stay up this season, but obviously, like I want us to beat them. Obviously, we need to get a win. And it's the first home game, and like you said, you need to put the Finn Harps up behind us. But we need to get a win. I think we will get a win. It'd be interesting to see how Keith lines up. the three at the back seemed to be a bit messy last week, and a number of players like Wilson and Heary and all these, but and they were left out. So will they play this again this weekend?
Yeah, we'll go into that now in a minute. But I've actually just remembered the last game there. It's Pats and Drogheda. So what's the score going to
Yeah,
be?
I think they're going to be 2-0 Pats.
Yeah, I'll go with a 1-0 win to Pats. I think it'll be tight-ish, I suppose. I think if Drogheda are at their best, I think they can definitely maybe get a draw. But I think
Yeah.
They looked quite good against Rovers last week. They were unlucky not to win. Really, I think Rovers had sort of more of the ball and created a few chances, but I think Pats played quite well. Like they held off Rovers. He got their goal. I think it was the 88th minute. Then obviously Rovers a minute later went up. They got the equaliser. But I'll go with a 1-0 Pats win. So into the uh, into the Longford game now in more kind of depth. As you mentioned there, will Keelan go with the back three again? I don't know. I don't think he really should. Really, I don't. I think it's a bit negative to be honest. I think against the Finn Harps team, yeah, it might work because they're a lot more physical. But and playing like a back three kind of might match the physicality that they had. But I just think I'd like to see us go for this game a bit more. Just kind of play the traditional 4-2-3-1 that we normally play and just attack Longford. So we'll get into the lineups. What do you think the team will be?
Well, like I think first of all, like we haven't lost many of our defenders in midfield. We've lost most of our attackers from last season, so I don't really see a need to be changing the backs in midfield. Really, I thought it was very experimental by Keith Long, and it was either going to go one of two ways. It was either going to be brilliant or it was going to be horrendous, and we know how it went. But I think Danny Lyons is out of this game. He's away with internationals, so he's ruled out. In goals, anyway, you're going to have James Talbot. I'm going to go 4-2-3-1 again. Right back, you're looking at Feely, I suppose. Rory Feely to go right back. And then Cornwall, maybe. Kelly. And I'd probably have Wilson in this game, left back. And if in my midfield, then in midfield 2, I'd like to see Buckley and Harry in midfield. Very surprised Harry was left out last week, but he needs to start playing games. Just ahead of him, then in the further attacking role, I'd have Bert. And I'd probably go with Alua and Coote on the wings, and I'd probably have Kelly up front.
Yeah, I'll go a bit similar. I'll have Talbot and goal. Obviously, I think Lyons is probably going to be out of this game. I think he was on the bench there for the under-21s today.
He didn't come on, and Dawson and Voigt didn't come on either, but they're there, yeah. And our under-21s won 2-1 today against Wales.
Yeah, they won, so congratulations to them. But yeah, I know they were unused subs, but I think obviously they're going to travel back from Wales to Ireland in 24 hours and play a game. But so yeah, I'll go with Rory Feely at right back. I actually thought Rory Feely played quite well against Finn Harps. I think he was the only kind of player who could say, yeah, I kind of had a decent game. So yeah, I'll have Feely at right back. Two centre backs, I'll have Rob Cornwall and Kieran Kelly. I think they're both solid. I think he could argue he could be in there, but he didn't kind of make that mistake that led to the goal. But yeah, so on the left back, I'll go with Wilson. Yeah, I know. Anton Breslin was all right against Finn Harps. I think he was okay, but I'd like to see Wilson get a game. I'll go with Buckley and Harry in the middle. Yeah, as you said, I'm surprised Harry was left out. Maybe he just wasn't up to full fitness, but hopefully he is now and he can play and create and just kind of do what he did at Waterford and see what he can do. Yeah, obviously Buckley's going to be in there. He's the captain. So on the right, I'll have Liam Burke. Attacking midfielder, I'll have Keith Ward. On the left, I'll have Alua. And actually, if he's fit, I'd play Bradley Road up front. I think Georgie Kelly, he didn't have his best game against Finn Harps, but I think Rold was injured for the Harps game, but I think he was training. I just think the game came a bit too soon for him. But from what I've heard, he's like a tidy kind of player, good finisher, on loan from Peterborough. So it'd be interesting to see how, like, what kind of striker he is. Like, can he get the goals? Really kind of fill the void that right had, and we'll really be the man to score us goals because that's the question really where the goal's going to come from. If Kelly doesn't really improve, then who's going to score the goals? You can.
Yeah, and I think as well as that, though, before Danny Manju was out of the team, like he scored an awful lot of goals for us, and he was taking set pieces, he was scoring free kicks. He won a few games himself nearly, and then he had Wright who was trying really hard up front by himself, doing a lot of donkey work, and you had Danny Grant, a really fast pace. I mean, we're missing all these boys, and it could take a while for us to start getting results consistently again. So if we do have a loss, I wouldn't be too hard on Keith Long or the team again. Like we're bedding in as a new team, they need to gel a bit more. But then on the other hand, these are the teams we need to be beating if we'll be finishing up in the top three again. Beating these teams of all teams.
Yeah, I just think I've kind of gone back to the 4-2-3-1 uh, because I just like to see us go for this game. Just show the kind of attacking trait that we have. Obviously, it might take a while for the players to kind of get used to the way we play in that kind of attacking style of football, and it's kind of more you know score goals, and because Thomas Louis, he's no Danny Grant, he's not young, and yeah, like Georgie Kelly's no Andre Roy, Liam Bird's no Chris Twardek, like it's the all you know the all.
Yeah, like these are the type of players that they're just hard to replace in our league. If you've got a standout player, you're going to have to go and invest money to try and get a player back like them, and that just doesn't happen in our league. So if you've a gem and they go, if it's going to be very hard to replace any of them lads.
Yeah, like I'm sure most of the players we've brought in will come decent. Like, we're yet to see players like Stephen Mallon play, who is going to be out for I think another month or two with an injury.
Yeah,
Um, so hopefully he can come back, recover, and make a difference. But yeah, I'm sure these players will do a job. Like, Liam Burr, he looked bright in pre-season. So did Thomas Lewa. So hopefully they'll have some sort of impact on the game on Saturday. We're
yeah,
up against Longford, who are newly promoted. But I know they got off to a really good start. They played really well against Derry, and they got a well-deserved 2-0 win. But I just think, we'll fancy our chances coming up, a newly promoted side coming up to Derry now. We'll have to fancy our chances, and we'll be wanting to put the Finn Harps result behind us and get back to winning ways. So there you have it. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, comment what you thinking heading into the game, what you think the score will be, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.